He had always thought that love was a luxury he could no longer afford. As a single dad, every day revolved around school runs, dinner schedules, and bedtime stories for his little daughter, Lily. But tonight, standing in front of his apartment door with his heart hammering, he felt something he hadn't in years: nervous anticipation. He was going on a blind date. His friends had insisted, promising him that sometimes life had a way of surprising you when you least expected it. Still, nothing could have prepared him for the moment she whispered. He opened the door and froze. There she was, standing in the soft glow of the hallway light. But it wasn't her smile or the sparkle in her eyes that stopped him, it was the way her voice trembled, so delicate and certain at the same time. "Hi, it's me," she whispered. And in that moment, everything else, the work stress, the doubts, the loneliness, faded. It was just the two of them, suspended in a quiet, perfect second that promised something neither of them dared to hope for from the start. Their connection was unexpected. She introduced herself as Emma, a kind-hearted woman with a gentle laugh that reminded him of warm sunlight on a winter morning. He noticed the way she hesitated sometimes, her hand brushing over a small cane, and he realized she was blind. But her presence was more vivid than anything he'd ever seen. Emma spoke with a clarity and warmth that seemed to reach straight into the parts of his soul he'd forgotten existed. They walked together to the cozy little bistro he had chosen, her hand lightly brushing against his arm for guidance. Every word she spoke, every laugh she let slip, made him feel lighter, almost weightless. But as the night progressed, reality crept back in. He worried about his responsibilities, about how a woman like Emma could understand the chaos of raising a child alone, about whether he was ready to open his heart again. And yet, every glance, every subtle touch reminded him that connection was worth the risk. Emma, too, had her hesitations. Life had taught her to be cautious, to rely on her own instincts rather than others. But there was something about him, his sincerity, his patience, the way he listened to her stories as if they were treasures, that made her want to trust again. When he told her about Lily, about the struggles of being a single dad, she didn't recoil. Instead, she leaned closer, her voice soft but full of encouragement. "I think your daughter would love me, and I think I could love her, too." Their conversations stretched late into the night, from trivial laughter over coffee to deep confessions about past heartbreaks and lost dreams. At one point, he had to leave to check on Lily, who had been asleep but was prone to waking during the night. Leaving Emma outside, he felt a strange sense of dread. What if this connection was just fleeting? What if reality would intrude and shatter the fragile hope they had built in those few hours? But when he returned, she was waiting, smiling, her presence a steady anchor against his turbulent thoughts. In the weeks that followed, their bond deepened. Emma became a regular visitor at his home, reading bedtime stories to Lily, helping with homework, and filling their small apartment with laughter. But challenges remained. There were moments of insecurity, moments when he wondered if he could truly balance love and parenthood, and moments when she feared relying too much on someone else for guidance in a world that had often seemed harsh and unforgiving. They argued sometimes, miscommunications flaring up, only to be soothed by honesty and vulnerability. One rainy evening, as they watched Lily splash in puddles outside, he realized that love wasn't about perfection, it was about showing up, being patient, and choosing to trust. Emma's laughter rang in the air, mingling with the patter of rain, and he understood that the risk of opening his heart again had brought him the most beautiful gift, a family that didn't have to be perfect to be complete. Months passed, and the walls of their fears slowly crumbled. He proposed, not with grandeur, but with heartfelt words, kneeling in their living room while Lily clapped in delight. She accepted, whispering her usual gentle voice, "I've been waiting for this moment too." And in that whisper, he heard all the moments of courage, trust, and love that had led them here, the ones that made every sleepless night, every doubt, and every lonely day worthwhile. As they embraced, he realized that the moment he had frozen at the door, the moment she whispered, was the exact moment that had changed everything. Life had surprised him, indeed, in the most unexpected and beautiful way. And as they stood together, with Lily tugging happily at their hands, he knew the most inspiring truth: love doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be genuine. And when it is, it can heal even the deepest scars.